leaking top insider stock trades every day until they stop us. October 7th. We had over 120 new insider trades come in. Almost all of them are going to be totally useless, but let's see if we can find any high signal ones that can help us outperform. We'll start with a big win, which is Blink Charging, which is now up over 120% since we highlighted the stock in the September 9th video. This was simply a case of copying an insider that had a killer track record of previous returns. In this case, we copied a director, Jack Levine, who was buying the stock for the 18th time. It was only a $20,000 purchase, but on his previous purchases, he averaged 20% 1-month returns, 60% 3-month returns, and 280% 6-month returns. When their track record is that good, I don't really care about anything else. I just blindly copy it. Switching to today's top trades, there's actually literally 0 trades that I found super interesting. So instead, let's go through a couple that I ended up passing on, but maybe you'll disagree with me. We'll start with Sportsman Warehouse, which I think I might have mentioned in a previous video, but we now have the 3rd insider purchase in the last week. In this case, it's a director buying the stock, and this is the director's first time ever buying the stock because he just joined the board in September. Now, whenever a director or insider has recently joined the company, a lot of companies will have stock ownership guidelines, meaning a director or an executive has to own a certain amount of stock. So you guys want to be on the lookout for whether these purchases could be related to them just owning enough stock to meet that stock ownership guideline. In this case, I couldn't actually find any info from Sportsman Warehouse about what their stock ownership guidelines are or if they have any, but I do keep that in the back of my head as that might be why he is making this purchase. There could also be some tailwinds with Burn a Gun sales at Sportsman Warehouse because they have an exclusive partnership, and in the light of the Charlie Kirk assassination, there might have been a big upswell in the number of people buying guns. However, the company is not really cheap on EV/EBITDA numbers. I'm not super convinced by this director's insider purchase, plus we don't really have a track record for him to know if he's any good, and I don't really think the gun sales push is all that compelling. On top of that, earnings aren't until December, so this quarter still has the rest of the month of October before the quarter's numbers are fully cooked, so a lot could still change between now and the end of the quarter, and I don't think these insider trades necessarily mean that this quarter is going to end up looking very good. And another insider purchase I decided to pass on is in the biotech space where the CEO just bought $15,000 of the stock. Obviously, $15,000 isn't very much, but it's a small cap biotech company. This increased their listed holdings by about 200% and was his first ever purchase. The stock is also down 50% in the last year, but has started to show some signs of life and is up 30% in the last month. They recently got approval to proceed with their final dose escalation of their Alzheimer's treatment, but none of this data is going to start to come out until Q2 of next year. So while I do like to see insider buying at these small cap biotech companies, I just don't see any near-term catalysts here that have me very excited about this insider purchase. And there's one other trade that was kind of interesting, this time a sale by a director at Photronics. This was this director's first ever sale, and 3 other insiders sold the stock about a month ago. Find all the top insider trades at CEOWatcher.com.